Hey friends and family, hey loved ones. How you doing today? Wow, I've been through the ringer. But yeah, I'm actually feeling okay. Cried buckets and buckets and buckets of tears this weekend. But, that was a really beautiful, beautiful thing that I got to share with my husband and with people who love me, with family and friends. And just feeling really loved and really supported and really cared for right now. And that's like one of the miracles and one of the magical, like, gifts that I'm noticing and appreciating today as I'm going through and processing and cycling through grief and all that has been healed, all that is whole, all that is becoming whole again. And I'm just really grateful. And so I'm going to take it slow because there is so much I'd like to say, but I think I'd rather get out of my own way and let love lead the way. Yeah, so I've been working with my voice and I've had this little, weird head chest cold just for a little while. Like I thought maybe like the dirty air, that we experience in Utah here, especially like during the winter time. Yeah, is contributing to some of that irritation and congestion and whatnot. But it's like way better, but I'm still like feeling like I'm having to clear like some stuff out of my throat. And with all the tears that I've cried the last couple days and the last week, and I just don't even know where all the snot came from either. It's just been a lot of purging and a lot of releasing and a lot of allowing and surrendering. And also, like, it's being alchemized and, purified, this vessel of mine, to hold more light and more love. And so I just love it, like, that my heart is opening wider and I am softening and I am surrendering. And at the same time, I'm also being strengthened and, tempered, through tempering this wisdom. And just loving all the things that show me and that affirm for me every day, like how dearly loved I am and we are in all of our ways. And there's so much around that I'd like to share with the portal of grief. Yeah, our portal of grief. I'm going into that portal, for healing and transformation. And so, just let go. I'm so grateful for all of my friends and my family and the loved ones that have reached out to me and that shared care, true support and empathy with me and to my husband Scott as we made a hard decision to let our little doggy Abby go with love. And that was really, really hard, but it was really beautiful, and we know we made the right choice. And it was kind and caring and compassionate, and it's a demonstration of how much we do love and appreciate our little pal, our little baby, our little friend, our little guardian angel, our little dog that had been with us for the last 14 years, who was nearing 18 years old, and she was such a champion. She was such a champ. She was holding on. Yeah, she's holding on for us. I knew it was time to let her go, though. I didn't want to see her be in pain anymore. Even though she still was like the happiest little thing and the sweetest little thing, I knew it was time to let her go. That was really hard. Being empty nesters now, She was our last kid that we had at home with us. She brought so much love and joy and sunshine into our lives. And it's been just such a beautiful experience going through this grief, and seeing how much she really did touch our lives and so many other lives. And so grateful for all the friends, who reached out to share their own heartfelt messages and their own empathetic, heartfelt expressions, and their appreciation for our little dog and for us and the care they have for us once we're going through this pain of loss and letting go. So, 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 so beautiful. And also experiencing what true empathy really is when there is that death of the separate self, and that we see a loved one in pain, and that loved one's pain is our own. We feel it as our own. That's true empathy. And wow, just crying with my husband the last couple days, and last week, just crying in each other's arms, crying for him, crying for me, crying for us, crying for crying for the pain that we're feeling, and just holding that space and knowing that there's nothing to do with it, nothing to fix, nothing to erase, and just letting it be expressed, and letting it be honored, letting it be felt, letting it be met, letting it be released. And it is such a gift. I mean, it's just been so really just amazing, to share that grief with him, and to be held and to hold him at the same time, as we hold each other and we hold the space for ourselves. And I'm just so humbled and appreciative, of the space that's opened up for us, and how beautiful it really is, to see this, the two in union as one, and the two in union, the two within, in union, and the two without in union. And so that alchemical marriage, that Heros Gamos, that balanced union, of the two that are one, and the opposites. And so it's just amazing, really, seeing all of it play out, and seeing it in multidimensional ways express itself. So grateful for all the love around me, and the love within me, and the love surrounding me, and the love that's always been here, and the love that will always be, and the love that is. Always has been. Always has been me and we. And this love that God and Goddess have for we. For all creation. The sacredness of life, and the fullness of life, and the wholeness of life, and the life, death, life. And also seeing these new levels of freedom. The freedom to be, and the freedom to receive, and the freedom to forgive freely. Forgiving. Life is always giving. Life is always receiving. Life is so generous. And I'm super enjoying this reweaving. This reweaving of my tapestry, and this great tapestry repairing the threads that have been broken, and forgotten, but remembered. And so I felt alone for so long, and felt unloved and unwanted, and felt like I didn't belong. But now everything has changed, and now I see that I'm not alone, and that love has always been with me. And I have always been that love. And now that I've allowed myself that love to be that love for me, and I see how many people in my circle and in my world really truly care for me, really love and appreciate me, and how they show up for me. Yeah, in the most generous and loving ways, because I chose that for myself. And it didn't happen overnight, but each choice helped to repair and rebuild and reconcile all those parts of myself, like that were at war within me, or that weren't aware of each other, or that didn't feel like they were worthy. And so, all of these lessons and all of these things coming into fruition in a ripe, juicy, beautiful conclusion. So it's the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. So it does make me, reflect back on the beginning of our relationship when my husband and I came together and what was going on during that time. And then, just remembering what was going on in our lives when Abby came into our lives to be part of our family. And so many things have changed, and so many things have transformed, and so many things have happened and been given and received and appreciated and honored, and also, given back and composted and transformed. It's like we got to spend many lifetimes together and with her just in this one span of, this 14-year cycle. And so, there's so much more to process, really, and it's all in my awareness too. I feel like it would just, it'll be a good story to tell. It's all there. It's just a matter of articulating the feelings and the images and all that I see and perceive about everything, how everything relates and is connected to the way we see ourselves, to the way we treat ourselves, to the way we allow or disallow ourselves, or different parts of ourselves. So, there's so much. There's so much. So taking me back to 2008, when little Abby came into our lives. Just wow, that was a wild ride for us. That was a wild, incredible year that was full of everything. Good, bad, and ugly, terrible and amazing. Oh, just so much that went on during that year. 2008 was incredible. And so at the end of 2007, in December, I was in a terrible car accident. And my husband Scott and I, we had been together since the fall time of that year, of September, really, we got together like really, really quickly. We had known each other, like known of each other, but not, we didn't really know each other. But we got to know each other really quickly, and it was divine timing, and it was meant to be. And a couple of years before that, I had gone to a psychic that I continued to go to and take classes from, and little things like on and off through the years. But she had been the one that to tell me that, yes, your twin flame's coming in. Your twin flame's going to be coming into your life soon, and it's so exciting. You guys are just been waiting for each other all your lives, but you had to go through certain things in order to be ready, for this union for each other. You had to experience some really, really crappy things. And we both did have our share of really, really, hard relationships and marriages, and relationships with parental figures, and our mother wounds and our father wounds and all of those things. And we had our same patterns, in certain ways of addictions, and and kind of our own little rebels, and that we were. And so we did have a lot to relate about, and just a lot of similar interests and things, but we were really so different as well. And so it's a good compatible match. It's just kind of funny how it just brings me back to all these things at the beginning, and another the beginning and the end of different chapters. And so it's just so interesting. But going back to my little story as I branch out into everything. My psychic friend had told me, your twin flame's coming in. It's really super exciting. And these are two brothers that are known to the family. Like, she was trying to say, it was one of these brothers. There are two brothers that are known to your family, and there's one of the brothers, and he has red hair, and I can't remember what else she said, but it's like, you're going to be seeing him and he's going to be seeing you, and you're going to be like, no at first. It's just really funny, because actually who he was to me was a stepbrother. My dad was married to his mom, when we were around the ages of 17 and 16. But we never lived in the same house for very long. Maybe for a couple weeks we lived in the same house during that time, when my dad and his mom had a whirlwind courtship of 6 weeks, and they got married very, very quickly. And they've been together, almost 30 years now. So it's kind of fun. How it all happened. And of course everybody was concerned, like, that's going to be awkward if they break up, and like, that's going to be strange to have family get-togethers and whatnot. But 15 years later, we're still going strong, and more in love than ever before, and more solid than ever before. And so it's just, wow, everything that we have really been through together. And our 15 years of being together, and we'll be celebrating 14 years marriage this year in August. And so, it's just really fun to just kind of look back on. And since last August, I've had this little card here on my desk. It was our vows that we said to each other, our vows that we got to pick out when we got married on 8/8/08. And I have been reflecting and thinking about these words. And may my arms be your shelter and my heart be your home has been like one line that's been coming up a lot for the last year or two. And I realized that that's my own. May my own arms be my shelter and my own heart be my own. And I can hold that for my beloved partner as well, and I feel so held and so loved and so cherished and so honored, and so loved. May we walk together through all things. May you feel deeply loved, for indeed you are. May you always see your innocence in my eyes, and may you always know how very precious you are to me. Yeah, know that with this ring I give you my heart. I have no greater gift to give. I feel so honored to call you husband. I feel so blessed to call you mine. May we feel this joy together. I thank God. I thank you. Amen. So it is such a beautiful blessing, promise, and vow and commitment that we have had and that we have for each other and for ourselves, for this love that we have and that we share together. And just so grateful for everything that we have been through and everything that our hearts have been able to hold and surrender to, yield to. It has not been easy, but it's been so beautiful, and there's been so much ease and grace and just absolute love, pure love in it for our highest good and our highest growth. So all the things that we have been through, I'm so grateful because it's taught us so much about the preciousness of life and the gift that we get to be, like, for ourselves and each other. And so, yeah, just that core relationship that I have and that I trust and, that we've built together. Like, it has been a labor of love. And we have, made our efforts. And we haven't just sat back and, sat on our asses. We have, been required to work through things. We've worked through so much, actually. But yeah, we weren't given anything that we couldn't handle, but sometimes it was so overwhelming, we almost wanted to throw in the towel, certain times, and then life would just throw us something and help us, with a detour, or kind of get back on the right track through different initiations. Wasn't always gentle and easy for us at all. We kind of got our asses handed to us several times during these last 15 years, when we weren't aligned with, with the path that our soul, chose for us. And so, 2008 was a wild ride where we experienced so much beauty, so much pain, so much transformation and change. And we'd gone through grief and a death of a loved one and experienced so many things. And my dad had an accident and a traumatic brain injury that year, and then was recovering and rehabilitation and working so hard to recover some of his, abilities and, bodily functions and things. It was almost like a severe stroke, and he was paralyzed on his right side and had to relearn how to do everything again with his left side, and he had to learn how to speak again and how to walk again and how to feed himself again and everything. And so that was a challenging time, but I remember too, how many people were supportive and how many people showed up and how much community, how much that really does make a difference to feel buoyed and supported by that community and that unity. And so that was, another thing we were experiencing. And then also my mom attempted suicide that year, and a couple months later, and she was in the hospital recovering in ICU for a couple of those months too. And that was hard. That was really hard to go through. And to see that she had been in so much pain, and all those feelings that came up around that, where I didn't know how depressed and sad and everything she was. And just kind of felt of course, a little responsible for that. What more can I do, to help her, to help her know that she's loved, and, or that there's someone who loves her that's here for her, But yeah, just realizing too, like, what's mine to carry and what's not mine to carry in certain ways, like what I could allow and what just was, and what I could let go of, and in those certain ways. But yeah, it was like very, like, just such a wild year of transformation, just one thing after another, after another, after another. And then we had our happy, wedding. And yeah, and Abby had come into our lives. And yeah, that was fun to have a little furry friend again. Because in my car accident that I had in 2007, I actually had my little dachshund with me. He was thrown into the dashboard and broke his little back during that terrible car accident. And so it was, we're ready to get another little doggy. And yeah, my mom had helped us find this little friend, Abby. And she had been a little rescue dog from Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina, and she had found her way to Utah a couple years ago and was living with a family who were in the veterinary field, and they had a lot of dogs and they worked a lot, and they knew she needed more love and attention, and so they put an ad in the paper just saying what a sweetheart she was, but they just felt bad that they didn't have enough love and attention to give her when she really did need to be with people. And so yeah, we were lucky us. We got to open up our home, and she got to be a part of our family, and so we're so super grateful for that mutual love and care that that they had for her, that they knew that she needed a little more. And so yeah, she was just just a delight to have. Yeah, she had been through some trauma, and so it took she was really trusting and sweet, but she would get really, really scared sometimes, and she would just squat and pee, and that took a while, like, to kind of help her to feel like she was safe, and and that she would be loved and cared for. And yeah, just little adjustments, and things, just remembering all those all those beginnings. And yeah, Scott and I got to have a beautiful wedding, and invite, like, just very, very, very close friends and family. It was very small, intimate ceremony and cozy. And then we got to go have, like, an amazing cruise. It was our first time out of the country. Like, that was like an experience of a lifetime. Yeah, the trips that we got to take that month in August. So we got to do a Western Caribbean cruise, and that was so amazing. Got to go see Mayan ruins and Honduras, and yeah, just some other places that we enjoyed. And then we went to Burning Man for the first time in 2008, and that was a super crazy, enlightening experience, and just, like, opened up, yeah, our ways of seeing the world, and yeah, just all those things that we got to experience. And just, yeah, that was just some of the year, like, and then just more and more and more, and just, yeah, how everything just led to here. But wow, just, we've been through our share of things, I'd have to say. And it's just kind of, yeah, really just, wow, reviewing. It's like our life review, like reviewing all this life that's been lived, and all this life that's been received and given and been lived and been appreciated and valued. So yeah, that's some of the things that grief can bring up. Yeah, kind of looking into all those things of what, yeah, we really, really appreciate, and what we really value, and what really matters to us, and what's the most important to us. So I just keep feeling like, yeah, Abby was the biggest gift, and I keep seeing all these gifts that she's given, and that she keeps, yeah, this, the love that we have for her, the love that was shared, and how it just is love that keeps giving and giving and giving and teaching. Yeah, And yeah, during this grieving process of ours, sometimes how we kind of go over like the things we didn't do, our regrets, like the things we wish we could have done more of, or yeah, the things that we regret doing, or yeah, our mistakes. And when we weren't perfect, and we didn't always like know what the right thing to do was. And instead of beating ourselves up about that, we can thank the situation, we can thank our little friend, we can thank each other, like for the lessons and for that opportunity, like to know better and do better, and like forgive ourselves, and also like have a deep understanding of our shortcomings and our limitations. And that's like what dog medicine is. And dog medicine, oh, dog is so loving and so loyal. Such a friendship, like true friendship. The true friendship that is dog. And if there ever was a creature that embodied God's love, it's dog. That's why, like, just love dogs so much. Dogs, yeah, man's best friend. And so, yeah, really teaching us how to be friends, and loving and generous and kind and forgiving towards ourselves, and accepting of our limitations, letting go of grudges and resentments, and feeling like, yeah, just that gratitude for all that she was, all that she like brought into our lives, and the innocence, like, her innocence that reflected our innocence back to us. And it's just so beautiful and so right. And maybe I'll share more about that later, but yeah, I just wanted to mention some of those things that, like, sometimes that we're taught and we're trained to look back on the errors, and so we punish ourselves again and again and again and again for the same mistakes. And that we don't need to do that. We can let that shit go. Dog wouldn't want us to beat ourselves up. She's so grateful for the happy life that she did have and that we gave her. And it's just like, what, too, yeah, where do we put our focus? On all the things we didn't do, or we didn't do right, or we feel we didn't do enough of, or all those silly stories, like, and we kind of overlook, like, all the things, really, that we did give, and how we did demonstrate our care, and how we did show up, and how we did, all the things that we did do out of love, like, just out of love, with not expecting a reward, but just because, that's just because that's who we are, and like, yeah, so like, seeing in a lot of ways, like, how we're taught so and ingrained so hard to judge and condemn ourselves, like, yeah. And it's just feel really sad, like, that we've really perpetuated our own suffering by, being so hard on ourselves. So just being willing to forgive ourselves and be that love for ourselves, receive that love for ourselves, that we are worthy of deserving, and worthy of knowing, and worthy of being. It's helping us to remember who we really are, and letting all those other stories go, because love is real, and all the rest is really a story that we tell ourselves. In a lot of ways, like, it's either love or it's a call for love. It's an invitation to love, or a cry for love. Yeah. And so, how can we be more loving and kind to ourselves and to each other? How can we be more forgiving? And yeah, it's okay to stand up for ourselves and speak up for ourselves, and fight for what is worth protecting and worth valuing and what is worth living, you know. So, yeah. I do have a lot more to share and a lot more to say, but yeah, I'm kind of feeling foggy too, because in a way, yeah, this process of grief and the grieving process, like, yeah, it isn't all sunshine and roses and, yeah, unicorns, but yeah, sometimes there's like gigantic shit monsters, and yeah, terrible distortions, yeah, that we get to confront and face. But yeah, just a lot of pain and suffering that we get to let go of and forgive ourselves for. So grateful for all the friends that have showed up and that have offered their care, sympathy, empathy, and support. And yeah, it was so beautiful, like just receiving those messages on Friday. We were just so emotional and so broken and open and just as we were and as we are, as we got to be. But it was so tender and amazing, like really sharing that with my husband and letting us both be. We didn't have to change how we felt. We could just be as we were in the moment, and yeah, however long we were. And just so appreciate that, like more than anything else, like this space, this new space that there is to hold the space for all it is, yeah, and all it is right now. It's amazing. It's just really and truly amazing, and humbled and grateful, just beyond words. So, yeah, all these other things going on, you know, like, too, as life does. But I feel like we're being held in like in a little cocoon, and it's okay, like, to take a pause, you know, and it's okay to go inward. And that's what I was getting to, like, because I was kind of stressed about, like, oh, I should be doing this and I should be doing that, and, you know, and then I was just kind of like, I'm just going to allow myself, and it's okay to go inward, and it's okay to surrender everything right now. Like, I don't need to have any expectations for myself or for others right now. And so, yeah, those are some things that have been coming up, and I've been seeing, though, like, as I'm taking a class right now, and just, like, kind of, I let a lot of it go this week because, like, I had established, yeah, certain things that were already serving me, and I have gone through, like, a lot of the things that have been offered in the content during, you know, in the class. But what's really interesting to me is not so much like the content itself, but like what it brings up for me, and like kind of like, oh yeah, I have experience with that, but I want to learn a little bit more about that too, or yeah, how does this relate to that, and how, you know, like, and what else can I see about this, or what else, you know, is here for me, and all these things, like not having like high expectations around like what this class should be or whatever. I just had more expectations about how I should be, really, and maybe to like how like the community unity would feel, or like how it would feel within the group, like, and that shared intimacy and things like that, and you know, like, it's funny in a lot of ways, like, where I haven't really interacted on social media, or like I don't really like to interact. I haven't in the past like to interact in group texts, because yeah, there's something about it that I don't like, and I prefer more one-on-one, but like that's probably just because of my fear of being seen and my fear of intimacy and certain things. And so it's just like, you know, being worried about how everyone's going to see me and judge me and things like that. And if it's going to be enough or if it's going to be too much, and all those silly old measuring stick, dick measuring stories. Yeah, of good enough and worthy of belonging. And so it's hard. It's been hard for me to ask for what I need. Sometimes that's been a tricky one. But like I've been practicing that for the last couple years, couple months, couple weeks, couple days, and so it's just a work in it's a work in practice and a work in progress, and yeah. And so like I felt like I would love to let my sisters in my little group know what's going on with me, and just ask for a little bit of love and support our way, like because it was such a hard day on Friday. And yeah, so I just typed up something, and but I had already felt so loved and so supported because I had gotten so many special messages from friends and loved ones. um, and so I just typed up something about how my husband and I were going through a really hard morning, and yeah, we were letting our little furry baby go with love, and we were so grateful for all the love that she's been and always will be, and is for us, and always has been, for herself and our family. And yeah, I felt like, I kind of did have expectations, I think. Yeah, but there were two women that responded, and they sent beautiful messages, and I really super appreciated that. But I think in another way, I maybe felt like, yeah, a little overlooked, or yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that a little more and see what I can see about it, or ask the truth to reveal itself to me. Um, yeah, I thought there would be more of a response, but yeah, and that's okay that there wasn't, because I saw um, actually how much love there really was for me, and so I was already grateful and thankful, okay, yeah, thank you. But yeah, I feel like maybe I just expected a little more from the group. But actually list kind of looking at certain things, and when certain things come up for me, and I feel like little triggers or little stories, and I watch and I observe, and there's certain parts of me that are wanting to speak, or that have different feelings about different things, or that are triggered by different things, of being seen or not being seen. And so it really is helping me to integrate and invite these parts home that haven't felt worthy of belonging, worthy of care, worthy of love, worthy of support. And so, yeah, just kind of looking into those stories and those things, and it's interesting. And I also have noticed as well, this distrust and suspicion and kind of resentment towards those in positions of higher authority, or spiritual leadership, because of certain things that have happened in my own life, and in past lives that I've had. And they all had to do with teachers that had their own power struggles with themselves, and yeah, interesting, just dysfunctional power dynamics in certain ways. The things that really rubbed me wrong about certain things were yeah, I was always so thirsty for knowledge and for learning, and exploring, especially the esoteric, and spiritually related things, like just because I've always had such a love and a deep, deep, deep longing for the sacred in my life. And yeah, there were some painful things that I went through throughout my life, like, and so yeah, it was really hard for me to trust, yeah, others, and trust teachers in positions of authority. And sometimes I would trust people right away, and then I would be hurt, and it would devastate me. Um, and yeah, sometimes I would meet a teacher right away, and they would just automatically rub me the wrong way. And yeah, and I just feel like that was my shadow trying to protect me and alert me to something that wasn't on the up and up. Yeah, and I've always wanted to see people like through those rose-colored glasses and think the best of everyone. And in other ways, like I have had like dark, deep suspicions of of other ones, and so like yeah, it's just because of that trauma, like and that spiritual abuse and emotional abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, um, yeah, mental abuse, psychological abuse that I've endured. And so just like kind of like looking at those things and seeing, yeah, when those distortions and judgments and projections and assumptions come up. And so that's been really interesting to look into for me. So yeah, I've just been writing and reviewing and just working with things and playing with things as they come up. So I do have so much less pressure on me, like this week. Oh my gosh, like some of that performance anxiety has just fallen away and dissolved. And so it's so nice. And it's just like also seeing like, yeah, that I can just show up and be myself. I don't have to like be anything particular or fill any certain role, play any certain role, or act at being anything in any certain way. So it is kind of nice and refreshing that way. And I see in so many more deeper ways that just showing up and being myself like really does bless bless myself, bless others, and bless the world. It really does. Like I'm seeing that in whole new ways. Like yeah, it is just feels so good, like really to receive some beautiful gifts today and some beautiful messages from friends. And one of my friends sent me a belated birthday package with so many gifts of love in it, and just everything, like oh, just like oh, she really loves me and knows me and appreciates me. And it was just like oh, she didn't have to do that. And it was just like all the things, like going through this box. It was a treasure box, every little thing in there. Like, it's just like, oh, thank you so much. Like, receiving this and allowing this for myself and this love, yeah, that others want to give. Receiving that. Just, and praising that and appreciating that and valuing that and thanking that. And it is like reciprocal exchange, and it feels beautiful. Yeah, love always. And so she had sent me this little card and beautiful sparkly flowers. And I've just been like loving the flowers lately, and really like in my visions and things, yeah, it's all about the flowers right now and blooming and blossoming. And it's all about the hummingbird making love to the flowers and enjoying the nectar, the sweetness of life and everything. Just that joy that we are and that we have within us to embody and live and yeah, enjoy and share. Honoring that joy and that magic and that love and believing in our own magic, you know. I love the brilliant colors of your spirit. Yeah, the flowers, the goddess of the flowers, and the angels of the flowers. And yeah, the spirits of the land and the elementals, the fairies of the flowers. And yeah, I love it. And it's so beautiful. Of all the people in the world, there is only one very special you. Happy birthday. And it does feel like another birthday, a rebirth day. And so it like came at the perfect time, really. And so I think it's so great and it's so beautiful. And this card made me cry. The things that she wrote, like, this card reminds me of you. Every day your spirit is beautiful, kind, radiant, and bright. I suppose it's like our birthday every time we grow, in a way. And thank you for sharing your love, presence, and gift of friendship. All my love, always. Thank you, Rachel. And a little note in here to give Scott and me big hugs. So thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you for being such a dear friend and for loving me as I am, as I've been. So love you too. Thank you. I'm grateful we've gotten to be there for each other during, like, good and not so good feeling times. Hard times of grief and sorrow. Love you and thank you. Thanks for all we share. So I'm so grateful for the gift of friendship today. Being that friend to myself. And there's so many fun things about that too, actually, I just thought of. I had just opened this book before I started recording, and this is a book. I heard God laughing, renderings of Hafits, and flipped it open. Oh, what page was it? It was, I thought I had put a bookmark in here. Oh, this book is so great. I love it so much. I saw a copy at my chiropractor's office, and I had picked it up, and I got the perfect poem that day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful book. And so I asked for a copy of this, and yeah, it had been set aside somewhere, and I just found it again today. And so I opened it, and it was all about the friend. You are with the friend now. And I'll know it when I see it, but it was perfect. It was so perfect. Yeah, may these poems help reveal the truth of God's divine playfulness and light and his sublime intimacy with us. I just love that. Someone who can kiss God. I don't think this was the one, but yeah, it's another good one. Set this dry, boring place on fire. Half-Feet seeks to broaden and deepen our understanding of real love, both in human relationships and in our growing obsession with divinity. He prods us to explore love's possibilities and test its apparent boundaries. He says our progress on this journey can be measured only by the intensity of our love, the living flame that illumines all life. Begin to love now, he says. Don't wait. Let there be no regrets. My heart is a raging volcano of love for you. I love that. I love that imagery too. And I have this little butterfly card as a bookmark here from last time. And the child in the womb of the master could not remain silent and shouted back in an astounding voice, I am here. I am here, dear world. The crowd in the mosque became frantic, and they picked up shoes, clubs, and stones. You know what then happened? The story becomes grim. But the moon cannot hold a grudge. It will stops by some nights. It still stops by some nights, and leans over this gentle earth as over a crib, and gives a full wet kiss. For the moon knows that God is always amorous. He will never stop making love, for the truth has been divinely conceived deeply within each of us. Oh, Hafits, look at the splendor of God's grace. The sun has been planted in 1,000 furrows across every soul's brow. Of course, my dear, everything God and I say can happen. And that's from, of course, things like that can happen. That's fun. We all sit in God's classroom. Havies tells us that love's journey unfolds through every process of life. Divine principles are constantly being demonstrated all around us. We cannot learn them through words or books or limited systems of human values. Hafez says God is fully known only through love, which accepts everything. Love reveals the universe as a cosmic playground where everything and being participates in a single magnificent game. God has shouted yes, yes, yes to every luminous movement in existence. Well, maybe I'll find that poem and I'll put it in the description box. Yeah, it was about the friend. And so, yeah, I'm not sure where that one went. But, it was perfect today. And there was another, something else that was perfect today. I actually had a nudge. I have all these books that were taken off one of my bookshelves because we're doing musical house and we're rearranging all these rooms in our house and restructuring and resetting and all that. And so I just saw this one and flipped open to a couple different pages and super appreciated what I received. And this is by Romancing the Ordinary, A Year of Simple Splendor by Sarah Breathnach, author of Simple Abundance. And this one that I flipped open to on page 169, your life is your magic. To believe in magic, how about we put on my glasses so I can see this small writing. To believe in magic as a viable way of enhancing our quality of life does require a leap of faith. We must see life in slightly romantic terms. Recognize falling in love or growing a flower or even cooking a perfect pie as a demonstration of the magic of balance, of everything coming together in just the right way. Titania Hardie. And then this other one, Weeding Out. No one wears velvet in July. And it's just talking about, is there a woman alive with as much storage space as she really needs, or as many closets as she truly wants? Of course not. But I am actually feeling that I do, and I am making that space, and it is like a pleasure to make that space. And so, that's what I'm feeling grateful for in so many ways. And so, there was one last little thing. Looking at my email today, and it was the offering that I appreciated receiving today. And then I just wanted to share this little gift that my friend Rachel sent me, and it was with so many other gifts: myths and mermaids, oracles of the water. So working with the fae, the fairies of the water, the elementals and the mermaids. So that'll be a super fun deck to play with and explore, this year. So thank you so much, Rachel. That's so great. Lots of synchronicities with mermaids and mythology and everything coming up. So perfect. I just love this play. I love playing with God. And being with the beloved. So thank you, life, for everything, all this love in every way, all the things that make up everything. So grateful and humbled and happy, to be a part of everything, to be here right now and to experience all God's good things, all love. All love can bring, all love's possibilities. Through all our ways of being. And so this message, you have free will. Use it wisely to effect loving change on your planet, by Dottie Lamoureux. The moon is in Taurus today. Click here to learn more and to watch the Moon Day message. So, can you notice any of your beliefs that might be influenced by the collective unconscious? Perhaps it's the belief that there are limited resources, or that life is meant to be a struggle, or that you're separate from everyone else. It might be time to learn about the truth of interconnectedness. You're all connected by a vast web of energy. Your thoughts and feelings influence others. Other people's thoughts and feelings influence you. When you integrate and accept this knowledge, how does your life change? How do you behave? How does it influence your values? To give and to receive are one in truth. When you give love, you get love. When you give fear, you get fear. You have free will. Use it wisely to affect loving change on your planet and in your life. That's what I added. Your survival as a species depends on it. And so I would say, too, that it's more than survival. Yeah. It's beyond that. Yeah, it's beyond survival. It's like being who we are and regenerating, like this potential, like regenerating all these gifts of love that are given to us, and honoring like all this abundance and this fertility within us, because love is free and love always does nourish all it loves. Yeah, and all it's a part of. And it's just up to us to see like where we're putting our energy, how we're using our energy, how we're using our will. Yeah, and are we using it wisely? Yeah, so sometimes it takes discernment, and it's good to take a step back too, to see where like maybe we haven't been using it wisely, or maybe where we could make more honoring choices for ourselves, like that serve our well-being in more full ways, you know. And so to each their own, and that's for each to find and know and see for themselves. And so, yeah, just been processing a lot of things and all the stages of grief, healing, the healing process, and the gift of grief. Grief is a portal for healing. Grief is a catalyst for transformation and healing, revealing where we have withheld love from ourselves or from cut off parts of ourselves. I'm feeling all the feels today, all the emotions in and through these energy waves. Letting go is not always easy. Surrendering, allowing, trusting, acceptance for what is and what will be. I'm feeling depressed, angry, and irritated, and then grateful, humbled, and accepting, and joyful, then sad and regretful, all the feels of the will, of being fully emotional, feeling all the feels, and releasing, allowing, acknowledging, valuing, and appreciating, all love's messages for me and we, all this healing, revealing, and restructuring. And that's just a little snippet from yesterday. Yeah. I've just been, letting myself be as I am. And I have noticed, like, the different stages of grief coming up where, a lot of it, like, I'm just allowing. And I had prepared myself for it, and I had started, grieving and allowing myself to grieve. And allowing myself to feel. And so it hasn't been so very, very, very hard. I've had so much support and everything, but I have noticed like little survival strategies and old inherited patterns coming into play in certain ways, like where there's certain things like that I learned as a child when we were grieving, like to turn towards like comfort food and stuff. And so me and my husband, we're just like kind of laughing at ourselves because we've been really wanting like different fried foods and stuff, like, and we're just like, we know like what it's about, and we're just kind of laughing at ourselves and not judging ourselves for it, and like just paying attention to like how we feel afterward and stuff, and like if just looking at those things and just giving ourselves a break and being gentle with ourselves and forgiving and loving towards ourselves and kind. And just letting ourselves just be where we're at right now, and loving ourselves through it. And so, that's a different experience as well. Like, instead of beating ourselves up, like, no, we should do it this way and stuff. And it's just like, you know what? Like, yeah, let's just be love for ourselves through all our ways, through all our silly ways, and yeah, and forgiving ourselves of our ignorance and like for the things that we feel we didn't do enough of, and all of the, and realizing that it was exactly right for what we needed at the time. And yeah, and just letting that go with love. And so allowing ourselves and like this whole process too has really been all about love, and it was so much love, and we feel that together, and we've experienced together, and we've created that together and chosen that together. And so it's just wow, receiving that together and holding that together as well. And so it's just really amazing and beautiful, and I'm really super thankful. And I feel really, 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 really full right now. So, yeah. So embracing the full, embracing that full, and thanking that full, and blessing that full, and praising that full for being a full, big old full. Yeah, big old lovable full that we are. In all our silly ways, and all our foolish ways, and all our wise ways that we learn. And so sending love and hugs to all of you. I love, I adore, I thank and appreciate you. I praise and I bless and I forgive you, and I thank you for being you, being here. All right, I love you. Be well and be love for yourself. Hold yourself for yourself. Love yourself. Talk to you later. Bye for now.